Hello, I hope you find yourself well in the Lord. I want to share about something that I went through the other day. The Lord wants me to share it, so I'm going to be obedient. So at work, there was this person who was complaining out loud about a whole bunch of stuff, and I wanted to tell this person like stop complaining. Nobody wants to hear you complaining, right? But I didn't because I know I shouldn't. But I was praying to God and I said, Lord, please handle this situation. I don't want to open my mouth. I don't want to say the wrong things, but please do something. So I left it like that. And within 5 minutes or less, I realized that that person that was complaining was no longer complaining. That person stood quiet and continued working. And I said, oh, wow, that's cool. And then about 30 minutes later, that person came and asked me what I wanted for lunch. Because turns out that my boss was going to buy lunch for everyone, which is something very rare that happens. And so I said what I wanted. And I was just laughing within myself because I said, imagine if I would have opened my mouth and would have told that person how I felt about complaining, how things would have ended that day. Imagine if I would have told her what I wanted to say and then it would have just made it worse, the situation, and then the manager would get involved and then it would just gotten worse. And then nobody would have gotten lunch that day from the manager, right? And not so much about the food, but I'm just saying, like, just imagine if I would have opened my mouth, what would have cost, right? And so I was just thinking about that, and I was laughing with God, and I said, "Thank you for teaching me how to keep my mouth shut, because if I would have opened my mouth, I know it would have ended bad for everybody." And so the message of the story is that we need to learn how to keep our mouth shut. Even if you have all the reasons, even if you are in the right, if you have God, God is with you and He defends you, He protects you, He takes revenge. Let Him handle it. I left it to God and He handled it really quickly. Within 5 minutes or so, that person stopped complaining. 30 minutes later, what do you want for lunch? That same person. So let God handle your battles. Let God handle all situations. Don't open your mouth. If you know you have nothing good to say, you know it's going to lead to an argument, someone getting hurt, you're going to offend someone, be quiet. Shut your mouth. It's it's worth it. One of my brothers, I had a conversation with a brother at church one time, and I told him that one of the hardest things was to keep your mouth shut, not to say nothing. And he said, and I won't forget it, he said, but it's worth it to keep your mouth shut. And I said, that is true. And that stuck with me. So just keep your mouth shut. Even if you have all the evidence, you have all the reasons, just be quiet. Pray within your mind at that time to God and tell Him, God, take care of this situation. And He will. God bless. Take care. And Jesus Christ is King.